Chee wee wee!
Welcome back to Better MMA. We are coming back at you guys with UFC 306 picks and predictions. We are going to jump right into it with the main event of the evening, Sean O'Malley versus Merab Dvalishvili. Now, this is a very interesting matchup because, as we know, Merab Dvalishvili is a high-volume takedown artist. He likes to take you down, dump you on your head, and once you get right back up, he likes to rinse and repeat the process. Sean O'Malley, coming into this fight, has a height, reach, striking volume, and striking power advantage. And it's very unique that we have a matchup where we see one fighter have so many advantages in that many areas. And for that reason, I'm going to have to pick Sean O'Malley in this matchup. There's a chance that this could be not the most exciting fight, much like the Aljamain Sterling Sean O'Malley fight until Sean O'Malley received the knockout. And I think Merab Dvalishvili could see some success in the grappling if he's able to cut angles and use his hands to enter in on his takedowns. But I'm afraid that Sean O'Malley is going to be too quick for Merab Dvalishvili, that he will catch Merab as he is rushing in. And unfortunately, I don't think Merab is going to use angles for his entries as much as he needs to, and I think Sean O'Malley will be finding his own angles when it comes to the striking exchanges, and we could see Sean O'Malley getting a finish either with a one-shot KO or a TKO after an accumulation of strikes. As we know, Merab Dvalishvili does not have the most dependable chin, and Sean O'Malley has plenty of weapons to crack Merab's chin, and I believe he gets this done in the second or third round via a TKO. Moving on to the co-main event of the evening, the trilogy between Alexa Grasso and Valentina Shevchenko. I'm going to pick Alexa Grasso in this matchup because I believe she has the boxing advantage. Valentina showed in their second fight that she could use a very successful grappling game plan against Alexa Grasso, but I think Alexa Grasso going into this third matchup will be expecting the takedowns from Valentina, and that will be an area that she's improved upon. And as we've seen in the first and second fight, Alexa is able to get these very big shifts of momentum on Valentina Shevchenko as the fight goes on, and I don't think Valentina is going to get any more consistent as she gets older. If anything, I see this as an opportunity for Valentina to be making more mistakes and for Alexa Grasso to capitalize on those mistakes and retain her belt. Moving on to the people's main event, the feature fight on the evening, Brian T. City Ortega versus Diego Lopes. It's a very hard fight for me to pick because I see so many similarities between both of these guys. Both of them, as we know, are Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu specialists with some heavy hands. They both like to throw big shots in the clinch, but I would say out of the two of them, Brian Ortega has a few more tricks up his sleeve when it comes to the striking. Diego Lopes, in terms of what advantages he may have in this matchup, I would say he has a durability advantage, given that we've seen how many injuries Brian Ortega has sustained over his career. And of course, I think we know that Diego Lopes is a very hard hitter, so he may have a power advantage. Unfortunately for Diego Lopes, though, he does gas consistently in the third round of his fights, and if Brian Ortega is pushing a pace, putting Diego Lopes on his back foot, and forcing Diego Lopes to make mistakes, I trust Brian T. City Ortega to capitalize on the mistakes of Diego Lopes and get a submission in the third round. I think this is going to very well be the fight of the night. I'm looking forward to this fight very much, and I think we're going to have a back and forth war between the two of them. I'm going to have to go with Brian T. City Ortega, though, because I think he does have some of the most elite jiu-jitsu in the division, and I do think he has a few of those tricks up his sleeve, like reverse spinning elbows, which he's hit the Korean Zombie with, and a couple other tricks in his striking arsenal, which I think he'll be able to use to expose Diego Lopes on the feet, especially in the third rounds, get him to make a mistake, and then get the submission. So we're going to go with Brian T. City Ortega getting it done. Moving on to Daniel Zellhuber versus Esteban Ribovic. Now, this is going to be a very exciting fight because, as we know about Daniel Zellhuber, he is a very patient, rangy striker, and Esteban Ribovic, on the other hand, has got some short arms, so he really likes to get into the pocket, throw tight, fast combinations, and get his opponents out of there early. I think Daniel Zellhuber is going to do a good job at slowing this fight down and fighting more at a patient range, which will frustrate Esteban Ribovic. I'm looking for Daniel Zellhuber to get it done via a 3-round decision, but I could see Esteban Ribovic really turning this into a dogfight, but I'm going to go Daniel Zellhuber getting it done via decision. Moving on to Ronaldo Rodriguez versus Ode Osborne. Ode Osborne, as we know, is a pretty coin flip fighter in the flyweight division. He does have some explosive striking, and he is quite fast. Ronaldo Rodriguez, on the other hand, though, does have a massive power advantage in this matchup, and I do think he has a boxing advantage as well. Ronaldo Rodriguez likes to throw heavy hands, and he's no slouch on the ground either. He's a very big personality, and that's why he's being put on the main card of UFC Noche, and I think he'll get it done here with either a first or second round submission. I could see him knocking down Ode with the hands and then cinching up a guillotine or a rear naked choke on the ground. So I'm going to go with Ronaldo Rodriguez, most likely getting the submission in the first or second round. Moving on to the headliner of the prelims, Irene Aldana versus Norma Dumont. Now, I think Norma Dumont has a great chance in this matchup to get this fight to the ground and to get an easy wrestling decision over Irene Aldana. Irene Aldana, as we know though, is a very, very dangerous striker, and she has a slight height and reach advantage here against Norma Dumont. Again, if Norma Dumont can start grappling early, I could see this as an easy Norma Dumont win, but unfortunately, from what we've seen in Norma Dumont's past fights with the likes of Carol Rosa or Geraint de Randamie, I see Norma Dumont going for her grappling and her takedowns far too late in the fight, and I think for a 3-round fight like this one, Irene Aldana will be able to get her striking going, and she'll be able to fend off enough of the takedowns of Norma Dumont in the first 2 rounds so that she'll take those 2 rounds and get away with an easy decision. So we're going to go with Irene Aldana getting it done with a 3-round decision. Moving on to Manuel El Loco Torres versus Ignacio Bahamondes. Now, I'm a big fan of both of these fighters, and it hurts me to see that one of them is going to have to lose here, but I'm going to have to go with Manuel El Loco Torres. Manuel El Loco Torres has got 15 wins, 14 of them being by first-round finish. If Ignacio Bahamondes can get out of the first round of this fight, the chances of him winning grow exponentially, but I'm going to say Manuel El Loco Torres, he's going to be too much pressure for Ignacio Bahamondes to deal with. I really like Ignacio Bahamondes as a striker at range, but unfortunately, he doesn't give me a lot of confidence when I see him in clinch situations, and because of this, I could see Manuel Torres getting some dirty boxing going in the pocket and some takedowns as well if he needs to, so I'm going to go with Manuel El Loco Torres getting the decision, a hard-fought dogfight between the two of them, but he's going to get it done. Moving on to Yasmin Jauregui versus Caitlin Souza. Very good fight between these two ladies. Caitlin Souza likes to throw big overhands, so hopefully that makes this an entertaining fight somewhat. Yasmin Jauregui, on the other hand, has some talented hands and seems like an overall pretty talented mixed martial artist. And so whenever I see a woman that's got some decent skill, I gotta pick her. So we're gonna go Yasmin Jauregui getting the decision. Moving on to Edgar Chairez versus the Myanmar Jit Joshua Van. Now, there are some fighters that I will admit to you guys, and I should have said this last week with Felipe Dos Santos, but there are some guys that I am too biased to pick against, okay? Joshua Van, the Myanmar Jit, still only 22 years old, going up against the 28-year-old Edgar Chairez. Joshua Van is taking this fight on extreme short notice. Edgar Chairez has an advantage in the height and in the reach, and Edgar Chairez is no slouch on the ground. He can get you in a very good triangle choke that he has, and I'm worried for Joshua Van in this fight because I can see him getting submitted by Edgar Chairez. But if Joshua Van is able to keep this on the feet, there are very few people outside of the rankings in the flyweight division that can stand with Joshua Van. So I'm going to go Joshua Van getting an absolutely hard-fought 3-round decision over Edgar Chairez. I could see Edgar Chairez winning one of the first 2 rounds with his grappling, but I see Joshua Van pulling through with his volume in the other 2 rounds. So I'm going to go with Joshua Van getting the decision, and we are going to move on to the card opener. Raul Rosas Jr. versus this random Asian guy. We're going to go with Raul Rosas Jr. They're opening up the card with him for a reason. Raul Rosas Jr., as we know, is a pocket rocket. This guy likes to come out fast. He likes to come out hot. He shoots for the takedown and he looks to take your back. Raul Rosas Jr. is a dog. He's a very motivated young man. He likes to get this money for his family. And here at UFC Noche 306, I think he's going to start it off with a bang. So I'm going to go Raul Rosas Jr. getting the first round submission, starting the night off right for the Mexican fans. And that's what we're going to do, guys. I hope you enjoyed the picks. I hope you liked the breakdown. If you did, please like, please comment, subscribe to Better MMA. We out. Peace.